Skatemasta Tcheco is an old school type of game, like any SAR type of platformer. It has a simplified soundtrack alongside graphics, and the game isn't even full screen to start. But despite this game's retro stylings, is it worth your time? Skatemasta Tcheco features 8 levels of varying difficulty, and instead of having to go through them in a set order, you're free to tackle the game whichever order you like. The game has a difficulty rating for each level, and while I overwhelmingly feel that the difficulty increases gradually, some of the later levels I found easier than the 3rd or 4th levels. As with many games that feature retro styling, Skatemasta Tcheco features a decent amount of graphical options. You can change the aspect ratio to suit your playstyle, as well as enable scanlines if you really want that old school look. As far as the gameplay goes, Skatemasta Tcheco is a pretty standard affair as far as platforming is concerned. Overwhelmingly, it plays like many other platformers. Jumping on the platforms and onto enemies to defeat them is essentially all that you do here. The main difference between this game and a lot of other platformers is that this game is endlessly scrolling forward, so you're not in full control of the speed of your movement, which is something I'm personally not the biggest fan of. The reason why I'm not fond of this is that it reduces the control you have and feels like it artificially increases the difficulty of the game. This is especially prevalent when respawning, as a major issue that occurs is that you fall from the sky, and this will absolutely add to more concurrent deaths as you're dropped in the absolute shittiest positions. This kind of gacha gameplay is extended to other parts of the game, as you'll randomly have enemies run from the left side of the screen with no warning that will essentially always deal damage to you. Additionally, there are some platforms that take quite a bit of time to spawn, which will undoubtedly lead to more deaths or damage. This artificial uptick in difficulty isn't something that makes the game necessarily more challenging, but it does make it more aggravating as a whole. While Skatemasta Tcheco is a decently fun retro-esque game, it really doesn't do anything to stand out, and with its host of issues for a relatively short game, the overall experience is one that isn't necessary to go through. Thanks for checking this video out. If you want to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe. I'll be uploading Monday, Wednesday, and Friday going forward. Monday is going to be reserved for features, while Wednesday and Friday are going to be reviews. If that's something that you're into, make sure to subscribe and check back.